We're here with McKendree men's volleyball head coach Nickie Sanlin. Thank you for taking time with us off the block blog. Congratulations on a thrilling 5 sets victory over Ohio State and Columbus. What are your initial reactions to such a thrilling victory?
First, thank you for having me. But the next, I'm really proud of the recovery the team has shown tonight, especially, Ohio State's a tough place to play. They're well coached, well trained, and I just was really pleased with how the guys kind of had a new mindset, and we're really excited to try to just get over that 4-set hump and pull out a victory.
Let's talk about that mindset. Obviously, playing at Ohio State, like you're saying, is it can be intimidating, especially knowing that you're playing the back-to-back conference champions. So what was the message to the team to not be intimidated by the setting or the team?
Luckily, right now, we have the luxury of having a young group. They're fresh faces that they know the Ohio State tradition, and they know that they're a great volleyball school. But coming in, they were just as another opponent, just like anyone else. And I think that's something that has a positive side of youth. They're naive. My kids play pretty fearless, and I think that that fearless state of mind just kind of keeps them going. But now trying to figure out how can you actually rein that in to produce results, and I think they started to have that taste tonight.
Let's talk about. We could talk about any number of your players. A couple of them had a pretty efficient hitting performance, including Brendan and Lucas. Let's talk about Lucas. Were you more impressed with his 600 hitting percentage or his 7 total blocks?
His 7 total blocks. I know our conversations with Lucas and things that we talk about in our gym is he's bringing the slide back to men's volley. It's something I know it's a taboo kind of thing, but playing up your strengths and knowing that's something that you're good at, why not capitalize on it? And that's something that I know that he does consistently for us at sport. But I know that I'm very proud of his blocking performance because that's something that on Friday night we really struggled there, and that's kind of been our MO of the season, that we've been doing a solid job at the net, and we watched a lot of film and talked about adjustments and how we're lining up on our opponent here, and he really took that to heart and made some big plays at the net for us after their middles. I think we hit, Ethan Talley hit, batting 1,000, and I think Blake was at least in the 600 range, if not a little bit less than that, and had a quick turnaround, and that kind of performance is really something special.
Let's talk about Friday night. You got 2 days of rest before today's match, but what was the message to the team after Friday night's match?
Taking care of the little things. The negative side of having a young group is that they're still trying to learn their leadership style. What does it take to be successful in the MVB? What kind of input you're putting in practice, and not just they work hard, they buy in, they do everything I ask, but it's the attention to detail that'll help you officially get over the hump. What are we wearing in practice? Are we finishing warm-up drills? Are we taking things seriously that people might overlook? An analogy we'd like to use all the time is, are you practicing your penmanship? I got that from another coach where it's like, you think about your handwriting something, do you actually pay attention to, I'm writing something, or am I trying to do it well? Or are you actually trying to practice your penmanship and make sure it's, the best that you can do on, kind of mundane drills? So that's something that we talk about all the time, of paying attention to detail, and they did that today.
Let's talk about the 5th set. You were up 2 games to 1 after 3, dropped the 4th set. So what was the message going into the 5th set?
They still, kind of their faces and their body language in the huddle is, they still weren't afraid. If we lose the 5th set, let's lose it by our hands and not let them necessarily dictate the pace. It kind of doesn't, and I don't want to say it doesn't matter, because it does matter what they do on their side of the net, but let's really focus on what we're doing well. Can we win the serve and pass game, and can we control the net play?
It seemed like you, in the fifth set, one of the stats that really sticks out to me is that you were able to side out at a 70% percentage versus where Ohio State was less than 50%. What do you credit that ability to size them out in the fifth set?
I think, again, they reeled their blocking back in, and not necessarily that we were getting blocks in the fifth set, but there were a lot of positive touches that credited into our transition game that made it possible for us to get a lead pretty early. There was a couple guys that went behind the baseline and took really tough balls, on their passers, and they were doing a pretty good job passing all night. And it just really made a difference of, something that we've been talking about in our gym is really working on our transition game because it hasn't been our strong suit. And, the work has paid off, or at least it is paying off.
And final question about this weekend. Obviously, Ohio State's offense this weekend and for a good chunk of the season goes through their opposite, Jake Haynes. May or may not have had a good idea that you would be playing against them. So how did you prepare, or what's the game plan in terms of preparing to play against him or maybe not playing against him?
Well, I know that they, unfortunately any team you don't want to see have so many injuries, and that's kind of what Ohio State's been battling right now. And we try to do our best to prepare for any matchup. We talked about it the week before, okay, he's a serving sub right now, so, if you're doing a little deductive reasoning, he's probably going to be playing next week. They're getting prepared for him to play in the next week's match. And that shouldn't make any difference on how your preparation for the game. He's a phenomenal player, a next-level guy. He's going to score points. That shouldn't intimidate you. Can you contain that? You can't have him have a career night. But you have to understand he is going to score. They are going to probably make lineup changes, and you have to be prepared and know your opponent. So we had to be well versed in all of the guys that were coming off the bench, and the guys do a really great job of taking care of the scouting report and knowing their opponent. And, it showed a little bit on Friday, but it definitely got us with an edge today.
I lied. One last question. I would be remiss if I didn't ask. What has been the reaction from your former players about tonight's win?
The outpour of love from the old guys and the McKendree community is just really amazing. It's really a fun thing to see that you're loved by not only your alumni, which is awesome, and I know I love them too, and to be loved by your community as well. And even my alma mater, the head coach at Marshall, he gave me a nice shout out, and I'm like, wow, this is great. We're just trying to make our mark at representing the small schools and trying to do our best in the MVB, and it's the love that keeps us going. The guys really do it for the love.
Well, thank you for taking time with us off the Block Blog. Congratulations again on the first victory in McKendree program history against Ohio State, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.